Panasonic is a global company, so that seems doable. When I hear Zaxxon Coin, that I've never heard of before, with three 22-year-old startup guys from 3 different countries, are going to do the same thing, it seems less believable to me.
I'll pass.
Yeah, I'll pass. Exactly. And I understand the risk. Like, Jasmy can still go to zero. Like, I get it. I just feel more comfortable with my money in something like that. And if I was to the fact that I even, promote Jasmy in the off cuff way of just, putting out the information as it comes out and trying to piece together their story, I guess to some extent that's inadvertently promoting it.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. Then I want to be, if I'm going to be an educational resource for something, I want it to be something that's worth being educated about. And at the very end of the day, Jasmy and his partners is a very educational subject. I even now have my nephew on it. He gets more Jasmy when he learns about Jasmy.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Okay, hey guys, sorry, I'm having my space glitch, so I can't hear anybody. So,
can you hear me?
In order to keep it going, I'm just going to ask the questions, and then if someone could just message me when Little Bit Man's done answering. So the next question I have for you, Little Bit Man, what exchanges do you utilize? Do you trust centralized exchanges? Do you hold assets on chain, or a combination of both?
Can everybody, if anyone could hear me, hit some kind of 100 or a hand wave, just so, am I hearable? I don't think anyone can hear me. Can anyone hear me? All right, Jasmine, yeah, I can hear me. Cool, I'll keep talking. Yeah, it's a mix for me. It's when I was first, getting on, I did Coinbase because it was, easy, and I'm in the U.S., so I don't have too many options. Since then, I've opened up a couple other exchange accounts, but I don't use them much. I bought a few things and just kind of leave them there, and I have no interest in the things I even bought in those exchanges. As far as wallets, I have a whole bunch of wallets. I got about, 5 or 8 wallets, mainly through trying to learn how wallets work and just opening up wallets to understand how they work and how bridges work and that. But every single one of those wallets has some Jasmy in it, but most of those wallets aren't for much other than that. I have one that I use for the metaverse. And I have another one I use for integrating a website, because I'm trying to integrate my ENS name into the website, because that's ENS is very interesting to me as far as a different token. And but yeah, no, I keep it pretty simple. I pretty much buy, and every now and then I put what I bought into the wallets, and I keep a little bit in the exchange. I bought plane tickets one time with my Jasmy. I helped pay off some of my mom's debt and bills with some Jasmy a couple times. But other than that, I just buy and hold. How do I tell you next question? Someone let Icy know when I mute. He can ask the next question. All right, I'll just keep talking because I don't know what's going on. What else can we talk about? If anyone has any questions, hit me up with the questions.
Okay,
too.
Next question. You are very excited for the upcoming World Expo 2025 in Osaka, Japan, which is now less than a year away. Do you think this could be a revealing event for Jasmy to the world?
Yes and no. I mean, I think if Jasmy is going to have anything to do with Japan's DX digital transformation, then I would expect Jasmy to be a part of Expo 2025. It would be very disappointing to me if they are not in some way involved, even as a presenter. Even if they're not part of the infrastructure, I would be certainly a little bit, I don't know what the right emotional word for it, but I would be emotionally taken back based on the fact that that would mean to me that maybe they're being left behind. So to me, Expo 2025 is the put up or shut up moment for Japan as a whole, and not just Jasmy. Like whatever gets revealed at Expo 2025 to me that works and gets adopted is we're going to see that for the next 10 to 20 years, and things that are revealed that don't get adopted or they don't even present at it or have a place in that Expo 2025, I expect those to be forgotten. Maybe they'll come around again with something different, but I think that opportunity of being a part of the global digital transformation that Japan is pushing would be set back or lost completely. So as far as going to Expo 2025, I'm very excited to go. I hope Jasmy is a part of it. I suspect they are, and why I suspect they are is because of their connection to Cybertrust, which, when I talk about the most exciting partnerships, that could be it too, because Cybertrust is a part of Expo 2025 with their entrance, exit, I trust identity, authentication technology. So I know that actually is a part of it through SBI Group. I know that SBI NFT is a part of Expo 2025. I know that Panasonic has a huge booth at Expo 2025. That booth is going to be geared towards the green carbon initiatives in Japan, and I believe it's with Hitachi or Fujitsu. One of those two companies is co-exhibiting with them on that. I also don't think that'll be the only Panasonic booth. I think they're too big of a company to only have one booth, or if that is the one booth, we'll see a lot of different products integrated into that booth that they're going to be showing off. Honda is a part of Expo 2025. Toyota is a part of Expo 2025. Sorimitsu is part of it. Sony is a part of it. There's really hard to say a company that is not.
All right. Hey, just wanted to hop in. I can hear. I got another device, so I can hear now.
Awesome. Good to have you back. Yes, I'm actually very bullish on Expo 2025. I actually also I don't really care if Jasmy flies to the moon, but if it doesn't, like right this moment, but I think if it's not showing very significant improvement leading up to Expo 2025, that would be another red flag. I think the yen also, I put the yen in that same basket, where I think the yen will see a lot of improvement in its price as we lead up to Expo 2025. I think now is a great time for all the people involved in Expo 2025, all the global corporations. I think we'll see them starting to buy yen now so that they're not buying expensive yen when the actual event comes around. And mind you, the event is 6 months long. It's not a 1 week thing. It's a big involved event. They'll be breaking out robo taxis. They'll be breaking out the flying cars at the Expo 2025, and probably a bunch of technology I can't even imagine. But metaverse, gaming, music, art, culture, it's going to be there. If you've never been to a World Fair before, they're amazing. I went when I was a kid to a couple of them, and I saw some of the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life, including, the oddest.
Well, by the way, I have about a 15-second delay whenever I speak, so I apologize about that. So I'm just going to keep on going. I hope that we can see each other at the World Expo 2025. I'll try my best to make it.
Yeah, and if there is some big community push to meet up out there, maybe that would be a moment we could entice Kazumasa and Hara and maybe even Kunitake Ando to, to do something. Hold a little, Q&A or some kind of event. I would hope that Jasmy is planning something like that anyway, but maybe even something for the international community. If they picked a date and they said, hey, we're going to be speaking at this pavilion on this date and showcasing something, I would imagine a lot of people who are very into Jasmy might make that the time they go. I would certainly want to be there
Oh
for
yeah,
that.
I absolutely hope Jasmy is planning some kind of event at the World Expo. That would be amazing, and I would be so excited to see many community members show up and seeing each other for the first time.
Yeah, that would be great. I'm not.
But the so I had another question, which is hopping over to Bitcoin. Do you think Bitcoin is part of the problem or part of the solution?
I think Bitcoin is a solution for sure, but I don't think it's the only solution. And I think that there it can be modified, as we've seen lately, to be a lot more than what Bitcoin was even 5 years ago. But I don't think it's the be all end all of what is necessary for blockchain. Like I don't think every everything that's Web3 can work just with Bitcoin. So I think if you canceled every other token, including Ethereum, you're like, nope, only Bitcoin. It's the best one. It won. The whole world's going to use it. Try building metaverses and everything else we do with Web3 on Bitcoin. I think would be very hard. So I don't think it's the be all end all, but I don't. I think it's like the central land to me. It's just the granddaddy of that technology or whatever. You know, it's the one that did it first. And whether it's the best or the worst, the fact that they were first to market will always mean something. And I think it's paved the way and opened the door for, every other token to come in too. The thing is, Bitcoin wasn't the first token either. Bitcoin was, after the first tokens. There was, I want to say, like five or six
That's a
other
very
ones.
good and diplomatic answer. I like it. So, what other crypto projects do you research and support? And I'll wait for you to say when you're done answering this time. That way I know when to ask the next one.
I,
Sorry.
perfect. I'll do that at the end. Um, I'm pretty corny with my crypto. It's like I have some Jasmy. I like ENS, and mainly the same reasons I like Jasmy. They have partnerships with Google and partnerships with GoDaddy. So companies I already use, they integrated with. So it's just obvious to me that if I can integrate it now and use ENS with my Google and my GoDaddy, then ENS isn't going anywhere. So I like it. I wouldn't tell anyone what price to get it at. I just like it long term. It could go back to $3 or it could go to 30 again. Um, Decentraland, I'm always buying mana and I'm always spending my mana. So I usually have mana in my wallet for a good hour or two, and then it's mostly gone. Um, a lot of times I'm just, helping onboard a lot of people that I work with who are doing, anything from a coffee shop I go to some of my friends who are producing movies or writing books. Like they've been getting spaces in a couple different metaverses and starting to build. And so I've helped them in the beginning, and buying their name for them or whatever and sending it to them and whatever I had to do to help them get through the first hurdle. Because what I've noticed is a lot of people aren't ready for Web3. They don't want to learn anything new. They don't want to be in custody of their wallet. It's just a lot of responsibility, actually. Like web being in Web3 and having wallets and operating with owning digital land and digital assets. There's a type of responsibility that comes with that, or you're probably going to lose it. You know. And so yeah, I like Mana. I will always buy it, but I don't hold it. I don't really hold much of Mana at all. I hold land and I hold some Mana NFTs, like Polygon NFTs actually. So in Decentraland, when you buy real world assets, you're using a Polygon layered Mana. In case that helps anybody understand how even Jasmy and Junction could work. It's like I'm still using Mana, but inside Decentraland, I have to convert my Mana from regular Mana to Polygon Mana, and then I use Matic to pay for the gas on those types of things. And Matic is cheap. But I do understand how Junction can work, and people are, oh, they're going to make another coin or all this. I mean, I think some of those, if you've used other platforms and other wallets or CEXs, then that doesn't freak you out as much. Um, yeah. Next question. It's like the 15-second delay.
All right. Well, that was an excellent response to lead into the next one. You and I might be among the most active metaverse users of the Jasmy community. We've heard Akira mention they might outsource to Sony. What do you think Jasmy's metaverse play will be? And I'll mention that I treat my root the same way that you treat your mana. I spend it and I hold land and NFTs.
Gotcha. It's a very interesting thing. Like, yeah, just like you said, you're buying root and you're unloading it, and I can't imagine that helps the price for the people that are holding it, hoping that that's their ticket. But I think that's one thing we can learn about a functional token is a functional token isn't getting storage. It's literally getting used. And just to talk a little bit about that, I've noticed in Decentraland or in Sandbox and one, a couple other metaverses that they'll have a big event and all of a sudden the price of the token skyrockets because everybody's buying that token to participate in the event and buy wearables, support people, tip people, do whatever it is, entrance to the event. And then after the event, about a week later, you'll see the price tank because all the people that earned that token during that event now have to pay bills because those events aren't free. So they're usually offloading those tokens and turning them back into fiat or Bitcoin or whatever they're doing with it. And that seems to be the cycle of metaverse related tokens. Um, as far as like Jasmy and metaverse, I don't know if Jasmy's aim is to build a Jasmy metaverse. I know they've said it, but I don't know if it was translated in a way that I fully understand what their intentions were. Um, but Sony is ready. Sony has a huge metaverse play that they're going to push out that has to do with the PlayStation. It has to do with only the PlayStation. Like you have to have a Sony ID and a Sony wallet to participate. And recently, Sony actually announced their wallet. It was called the Sony Green Wallet, and you can look it up. It's a Sony crypto wallet, and it was released for the U.S. or at least the announcement said it was being released for the U.S. Like I want to say like right about now, and maybe it's already out there. But that was a metaverse play. Even in the description of the article, it was talking about this wallet was meant for the metaverse and integrating um, people into Web3. So I know Sony has a wallet. I know they have a metaverse, but we haven't seen it yet. And I expect it to be amazing straight off the top. Disney recently announced a metaverse where their map will include different big name movie like Cars would be a place that you can go to Cars World, and then you can run across the map over to Star Wars World. So I'm extremely excited about that. The difference between the Sony and Disney metaverse and like say Futureverse or Decentraland is that they're not decentralized and there's no ownership. For me, I don't feel as enticed because I don't own anything in there, and then my participation is just from an outsider standpoint, where the decentralized metaverses seem to me to have a real future because underground communities need that. It's actually really, really, really good for underground communities and niche communities. And so when I'm in the metaverse, I see everything from, reggae communities forming and, reggae artists from Brazil are linking up with reggae artists from Japan. And that's all happening over there. There's people who just make beats that are hip hop and they hang out all day and you can go to their land and just listen to them make beats all day. And there's models in there doing fashion shows, and so there's a lot of underground niche communities building in there that really I don't see Meta or any other metaverse really servicing in the same way because they're not as they don't really give you the ownership, so you don't own anything, so you don't it doesn't feel as good to be there, it doesn't feel as good to give, and participate. So that would be my take on that. I think Jasmy won't be for either of those. I think Jasmy can be integrated into either a decentralized metaverse or it can be in a centralized metaverse, put on by a big company. going back to what we were talking about earlier with Transcosmos, which is one of Jasmy's first partners, they're completely about the metaverse. They have a whole another department in Transcosmos and a separate web page dedicated to all their metaverse endeavors. So I think Jasmy is at the very least going to be an authentication mechanism for the metaverse. I don't know what Jasmy's metaverse would be. Would it be a shoot 'em up game? I mean, I just don't. That's where I get stuck trying to understand the Jasmy metaverse, you know. But I'll stop speaking so you can chime in because I'm actually interested to hear what you have to say about this too.
Yeah, I think Jasmy could be more of a utility within multiple metaverses and the open metaverse. So, yeah, like you said, I think that they could participate in both centralized and decentralized metaverses. And I agree that intellectual property ownership by the user and interoperability is absolutely key for any metaverse. So I think the open metaverse concept is going to do very well. And for anybody that didn't know, Decentraland, Sandbox, Futureverse, and another one called Witch, I think. They're going to be holding the first Metaverse CEO roundtable meeting. Should be a live space on this platform, I think, on May 15th. So I'm definitely going to be checking that out and excited to see what they all have to say.
So one of my questions for you maybe is like where I get I'm trying to fully understand Janction is does Janction seems like something that would make that interoperability between metaverses easier by being able to bridge, you know, wallets through Janction. Do you think is that am I getting that correctly? And I'll stop so you can react quicker.
Yeah, I think Janction and Asto Altered State Machine, which Masanobu Yoshida, after he left Jasmy to go to ASM and be an advisor, I mean, these two systems and networks seem like they're almost built to like complement each other. So because I don't see anything about where the GPU processing is coming from or where the data is being stored on the Futureverse white paper or in ASM or their data market that they've just have a very small paragraph that they want to have some kind of data market. So Junction could definitely be the decentralized edge powerhouse that powers this whole thing, which would dramatically reduce the cost, the overhead cost for these metaverse networks themselves.
Yeah, I agree with that, and it actually brings up a whole another interesting partner to Jasmy, which is Remix Point, which is the energy company behind BitPoint. And if anyone's not up to date, BitPoint was recently bought out by SBI Group, and Genki Oda got elevated to, you know, a high director or something at SBI. I can't remember his exact title right now. And I've actually been going back with Neo Xtrix a little bit about the SBI connection. So big up Neo Xtrix. I see you there. Just want to say what's up. You do amazing artwork, the AI and everything, and your insights are always on point. So big up. And Icy, back to you.
All right, so I'm just going to hop in the comments. We have a couple questions. The first one is from our Maya, who runs the Jasmy Underground Research Discord. Be sure to give him a follow and check out his Discord. What possible partnerships or what possible partners do you think could be next on the line for this project? And what possible connections can you see? Also, in what ways do you think Jasmy is going to expand into areas that we would not usually expect?
First off, big up because Jasmine was one of the first to take the initiative um, to do the videos and just really push the Jasmy info other places. So, you know, enough respect. And I think I even remember an old Reddit conversation uh, where you were in the conversation, and at some point I was just like, yeah, I think you would uncover something pretty cool. And I was like, what are you? You guys are, and I think I said, you guys are like the underground Jasmy Research Collective or something, and I've loved seeing like that kind of still be a part of our community. And just I don't know, I gotta really big up the early Reddit kids because that was just um, a crazy time. As far as answering the question, who Jasmy might be lining with, I mean, just the, it could be everyone if they really are a Felica chip play, anything that a Felica chip is in, and so it could be Apple. Um, I know everybody wants it to be X, but I just don't even know if Elon would out would use something outsourced. I mean, it would have to be white labeled for him, so we may never know. Um, I think exchanges in general could partner with Jasmy. So every single exchange that Jasmy is on, there might actually be a use case for Jasmy there, and not they're not just on that exchange for to create more liquidity because they're on enough exchanges for that. I've sometimes wondered if Jasmy's KYC technology is or will be used at many of these exchanges. I almost feel like that might have been the deal at Binance until Binance decided to run with their own product. I've also haven't seen anything that says the Binance's product isn't somehow a white label of Jasmy's product either. Um, what I've been looking at today was I've delved back into Vio a lot lately in the original partnership, and Vio has a lot more going on than I think most people realize. And they have a thing called VFR, which is Vio Flying Robots, and Vio Flying Robots, starts to link up with some of the stuff that Panasonic Avionics is doing. And there's a lot of Jasmy's partners that have loose ties to drone companies because we've seen Jasmy, work and do things drone related, whether it's the drone light show or whatever. On several occasions, Jasmy has been related to the drone industry. And when I look at, you know, what is it, Japan Innovation Partners that owns Vio, and you look at some of the other companies they own, that play comes in. So I think Jasmy's main thing is IoT and data security. So on global, any exchange over the globe they're listed on, I think their KYC tech is great. I think for PDL, that's anybody who's trying to safely secure their data, and if that is tied into the Felica chip in somehow, some way, which we all suspect, and it's almost been announced, in that fashion, then we could say that anything with the Felica chip is a possible Jasmy partner. In fact, if Jasmy partner is Felica chip, then it's game over. I don't think anyone would have to worry about the price as long as they're willing to hold it while the technology gets adopted. Because I don't think without data, Jasmy coin can really sustain a price level higher than it's actually worth based on data. I think it can. I think it can pump on whatever reason, whether it's manipulation or just all out market exuberance. But to sustain a price level requires somebody, and basically everybody, on the buy and the sell side, to agree that that's the floor, that's the actual value of the company. And until more value is added, whether it goes up or down, that's kind of where the base floor is. I have notes with a ton of partners that I think we can all suspect. Like I think HP. So I think one thing we've discussed before, and I think more people are discussing now, is just the secure PC.
All right. Thank you for that. We
Yeah,
have one more new question in the comments, and that's they're asking about the lockup. When is lockup? So we already had the test lockup of 100 million that occurred already. So I guess I'll alter the question a little bit. How, do you think that they're going to lock up kind of monthly, or do you think it'll just be in bursts as needed as when companies want to lock up more, or do you think they're going to have more of like a steady schedule?
I mean, at first I think we read it as there was a steady schedule for lockup, but I don't. I think after trying to reinterpret it, maybe that didn't seem like the case after rereading it in the translation. Um, I have absolutely no idea how they're going to do the lockup. I don't even know how many coins BitPoint holds. Like BitPoint's exchange data has been hidden and it's not available. If you go to Coin Market Cap, you can't find it. It's hard to know what's actually circulating, what's not circulating without seeing BitPoint's numbers. And they're one of the first exchanges. I feel like most of the Jasmy came from BitPoint. If it went to other exchanges, it probably came out of BitPoint to those exchanges. And I know Dip Metaverse was the first person in the Reddit community to take on, following those wallets. And there's one other person, I'm slipping his name, and I hope if they are still in our community, they don't feel disrespected. But yeah, there was Dip and one other person that was really on the wallet, side of things, and keeping the whole community up to date on that. So that's always been good. But we've never had BitPoint's numbers. We've never known what they're doing. I don't. Maybe someone recently, I think, thinks they uncovered the Bitcoin wallet. I mean the BitPoint wallet, but I can't confirm that. I don't know when they'll do dilution. I mean, I don't know when they'll do lockup, but I will say one thing for the community is the way we can lock it up, and this is definitely not financial advice, is take some of your tokens off exchange is the only way we can lock them up and get them out of those big exchange wallets. So when you see the Coinbase wallet and you see the Binance wallet and your tokens are still on the exchange, that's your tokens, and we don't know what they're doing with those tokens because they could be selling them, dumping them, pumping them. They have access to that. I mean, I know that they're in custody of it. I I heard a rumor. I don't know if this is true, but if you put a sell order on your tokens, that also effectively locks up the price. If you want to leave them on exchange by actually going and putting a sell order on it, even if it's $28, putting that sell order on there takes them out of the liquidity. They're no longer considered tradable because there's actually an order on them. I don't know if that's true, but that's one thing someone told me. They called it a lazy person's lockup. So yeah, I do encourage the community, not even for financial reasons, but just to understand wallets. If you don't have any tokens in a cold wallet or some other type of wallet,
I
a
totally
hot
agree with
wallet.
that. And I encourage anybody listening, if you do not hold any Jasmy on a crypto wallet, I encourage you to start learning how crypto wallets work. Always do small test transactions first. You can just pay the gas fee, just send a little bit, $10, make sure it gets there.
Even that little bit
Become a
takes it
holder.
out of exchange.
I
Yeah.
actually sent like $10 to like another one just to add another one, just for fun. So we've pretty much come to the end of the interview. We made it. Thank you all for sticking around. This was Jasmine Samurai interview number 1, featuring the legendary Little Bit Man. And yeah, I'll let you close out, man. Thank you so much for your time and speaking with me. And I look forward to meeting more of you and to holding more of these. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Big up. I see a lot of people from the community here: Jasmy AI, Forza Lecha, Neo Xtrix. And a lot of new faces. West Coast, I see you. And just want to, I appreciate whatever support I've gotten from anybody. I will do it anyway. But it always feels good if you're sharing information and you feel like your efforts are making a difference for other people. So for whatever that is, big up. And I do plan maybe Sunday or Monday when I have some time, going back through this interview with Icy and I will make a post and try to link articles and links to some of the stuff we discussed for anybody who wants to like dig deeper into any of this. So big up and happy Friday, and I hope Jasmy makes it. I hope you all make it, and I hope this price action that's going on doesn't scare people from what Jasmy really is, which is a company building technology and not a company shilling coins. You know, the coins are just supposed to reflect the progress of the company. So I hope I hope I can remember that through all this volatility, because crypto is definitely hard. And anybody who's here with me doing this, you know, whether you're just learning or you're invested, um, it's a lot to soak up. So, you know, stay strong and carry on. Jasmy Warrior, I see you.